We're going to switch to English because you have an international audience, although you live here in Geneva. Today we're going to talk about the Transhuman Code, a book that you wrote, and maybe let's see a video that is explaining or making a summary of the Transhuman Code.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Carlos, congratulations on this book. Isn't it, it's a manifesto first, but isn't it in some way key to people's empowerment, the Transhuman Code?
Absolutely. The thinking of the Transhuman Code started in 2016 in Davos at the World Economic Forum when Klaus Schwab came with this amazing idea that we are entering into the fourth industrial revolution. So that was coined in Davos, that the world is entering into the fourth industrial revolution. But you know, when I was in the UN, and everybody knows here, and the web was invented in the city, right? We knew already at that time, and I was working in the UN at that time, that if the web is the base to create a revolution, we have a problem with the humans because the humans are not designed in the original architecture of the web. This is like an architect that forgets to design the bathroom in your house. So one day, you're going to have a problem, right? Because you need a bathroom. So the original design on the web did not have humans. So what has happened is that the web has become now a $10 trillion ecosystem. All those companies, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, Amazon, they are reaching amazing valuations, $1 trillion. Can you imagine, $1 trillion? So that $1 trillion is actually immonetizing the human because it was not protected originally on the infrastructure. So they used the opportunity. They saw that humans were vulnerable, and they converted human into objects. We are now all objects of the fourth industrial revolution. So we can keep talking and we can keep philosophizing about that, but we need to action. I mean, and I am an action person. I like to solve complex problems, right? So what we did is to say, okay, let's bring the best brains of the world, the best government leaders of the world, the best NGOs, the best lobbies, the best conference, and let's create awareness that human needs to be protected. And then let's put the solutions in place, then put the money in place, and then put the firepower required to solve this amazing problem. We only have 5 to 10 years to solve this problem. The problem, the fight is not between humans and robots, the fight is between humans and humans. Because there are two philosophies in the world. One philosophy that says, humans, we cannot be exponentially improved, we are very slow. Machines will be exponentially improved, therefore we need to be obsolete. A ultra transhumanist human will emerge that will be superior and will displace us. That's one view. The other view, which is the view we are defending, is that no, actually we are the most perfected technology ever been designed, the humans. We have been here for 200 million years. 200,000 years, sorry. We have been in this world. And we have been improving, and we have been fighting all kind of viruses, all kind of wars, all kind of mentalities, and we are still here. So let's continue to be here, and let's put some process on where artificial intelligence and what we call deep tech, which is algorithmic technology, will not replace us. So this is now not only a book. I am not a writer. I run companies. I don't necessarily spend my time writing. But it was a book as a manifest to open the eyes to people that will help us to achieve this success.
So to achieve this success and to make sure that we become master of technology as human beings, how can we ensure a bottom-up approach rather than a top-down, and to make sure that authorities, private companies don't decide for us?
Very good question, and this is exactly where WiseKey is all about, and what we did it with the, actually we are launching in 2 days at the blockchain event here in Geneva, the Trust Protocol Association. So what we are doing is to say, if the human is not connected to the internet because we are not part of the architecture, what will be the kill app that makes the human in possession of something that that infrastructure will need? And this is your personal identity. So now anyone, and I have been seeing other people always say how many people are in Instagram, how many people are in Facebook. Actually, you are not in Facebook, you are not in Instagram. Actually, Instagram, Facebook, and many other social media companies, they own your digital identity. Your digital identity is this key that you have, that you are giving to people without consent. It's like giving your key of your house to anybody without giving consent. So we have to bring back the consent to the user. And for that, you need to have a piece of technology, which is a digital identity, which is your key, that you will only, under your consent, give the social media companies and others to exploit your personal data, but you are the master of the key. It's like inviting somebody to dinner in my house. I can invite 5 of you to my house, but I cannot have the place to invite you everybody. So the 5 persons that I invite into my house, they will be under my consent and my wife's consent to that effect. So that needs to be applied on the internet. Consent has a value. You know, another thing WiseKey is doing is working with the United Nations on the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG, where they say that by the year 2030, all humans on Earth should not be poor anymore. It looks utopic, say, how are you going to solve that problem? But actually it is, because the digital identity consent can be tokenized and has a value that companies like Facebook, Twitter, and others will have to pay because you are the product. So if you one day decided not to be the product, what happens with their business model? So we are bringing the society to a consent society where humans are in control. By the way, in 1863, in this city of Geneva, something amazing happened. What it was? The Red Cross. What was the Red Cross? It was a non-political organization that had the right to go to the battlefield, take the wounded person, and avoid people to shoot that person while that was happening. And on that, Geneva has built an amazing ecosystem of neutrality and taking care of user. We need a Red Cross on the internet. We need an organization that will be able to protect the citizens if the citizens are being attacked, used, or abused by the $10 trillion economy that has been created on the fact that we are not protected.
So data privacy is one thing, but what are the other decisions that we need to take now to make sure that the decade to come, or decades to come, will be a decade where humans will still be evolving in a positive environment? And you're talking about regression in your book. So what does regression look like?
So it's not a silver bullet, then you can solve it, because I say the forces are very strong. How can you, and I've been talking to the CEOs of all these very major companies, and actually I am organizing in Davos in just a few days an amazing roundtable with the name Tech Accord, which is based on the idea of creating the Geneva digital platform that will allow Geneva to become a neutral player in order to mediate the interest, because the interests are very strong. You see, this is a multi-trillion-dollar economy that is fighting to keep control. So it has to be three pillars. One is technology innovation. So all you guys that they are thinking on creating a company, as I did 20 years ago when I created WISeKey, this is the right city. It's not Silicon Valley. This is the right city. Why? Because you will, from day one, has an advantage that nobody has, which is the Swiss neutrality. And the fact that we respect humanity here in the city. So that's the ground floor. The second is money and entrepreneur spirit and all the things that you already have, because we are in a rich city. But that one of neutrality is going to be the base of the foundation of the future. So that's one. The second thing you need is creating reference. Create a company and put it on the NASDAQ. It showed that it's possible. When I created WISeKey 20 years ago, I left the UN. I was already 40 years old. I took my pension fund and I invested in WISeKey. WISeKey now is a company listed on the NASDAQ, and we are just at the beginning of it, because once you are in the NASDAQ, it's like being in the Olympic Games. You fight with everybody with the same weapons. So that you need to create companies that they are designed to solve the problem that we have. And the third layer of that is international. That's what the Geneva State, Pierre Maudet, and many others are doing in an amazing way. It is creating the ecosystem that people decide to work in Geneva, like Libra coming to Geneva, like the Microsoft Peace Foundation. That's what we need. That Geneva emerges as the city of the world where the settlement and the negotiation on personal data, digital identity, and the right of individuals on the internet can be protected in the same way we protect people going to the battlefield through the Red Cross.
You refer in your book to the Maslow hierarchy of needs to develop technology.
Yes.
So, according to this hierarchy, first, it's our physiological needs, yes. Air, water, shelter, food, and then safety and security, so yes. Job, work, etc. And then it's love and belonging, friendship, family, and sense of family. Yeah. Then comes self-esteem and self-actualization. Yes. In the era of artificial intelligence, shouldn't we reverse the hierarchy and put maybe love and self-esteem maybe higher than just jobs and, those material needs?
Yeah, so this was done many years ago just to define the human equilibrium, right? I mean, I am an executive, I travel around the world, but I also have a family. I have 6 kids, actually, and people will say, wow, this is crazy, how you handle 6 kids? But actually, those 6 kids allows me to model myself, to compromise, to take decisions that they are good for my family. But the good thing is that when you take those decisions and they are good for your family, it's also good for your work, it's good for yourself. So you create an environment that the basic needs as a humans, in order to succeed, are respected. I know tons of CEOs, very successful executives, that at the end of their career, they are destroyed because they didn't create that balance. So that balance can be computerized, can be coded, and that's the idea of the human code. It means that you as a human, you can program your future. You can code. AI, actually, it's very powerful in repetitive tasks. AI is lousy, and we do train that AI algorithm on emotional things. People here were talking before about the jobs of the future. The jobs of the future are going to be the jobs of emotions, because AI doesn't understand emotions, the job of helping people, or working in a hospital and taking the hand of the patient. And this is the emotional work. Actually, we try with algorithms to detect a man and a female, and the algorithm took maybe 1 day to identify what a man was. It took a week to identify what a woman was, because women are more charged of emotions that it was viewing few generations behind like a handicap. This is actually a plus in the future. That means that women emotions will be converted in very powerful companies that will be able to solve problems. So in this hierarchical model, the idea is that give people first food, because AI and technology and self-esteem doesn't make any sense if you don't know how to eat or how to drink or how to have a shelter. So that is the obligation of the society, to guarantee us the basic needs so we can empower the creative capability of each person and make that person very successful without the need to compromise anything in life. Maintain the equilibrium.
As an entrepreneur, what are the greatest opportunities you see for the 10 years to come?
I think it's becoming easier and easier. When I created WISeKey, I needed to raise $300 million just to create a company. You know, that's basically there was like a mountain there, because you have to do everything. You have to build your own data center. You have to recruit tons of people. You have to buy your servers. You have to pay expensive price for algorithms. In our days, because you have a $10 trillion economy already built, you have Amazon data centers available, you have open source software AI that you can develop. So the cost of creating a company has been reduced. I mean, what you needed in the year 2000, which was, by the way, the worst year ever to create a company, because there was the dot-com collapse just a few weeks later, we managed to survive, but it required a huge energy effort. That energy effort now can be put on the business and not on building the company, because you can collect those resources from where they are. So, and this is going to get better and better and better. So the company of the future is going to be one person. Each of you can become a company. Actually, we're already testing AI algorithms that they can create a company. So this is the AI algorithm creating a company without any human. The AI algorithm is the CEO of the company. So in the future, every single individual can become a company. And you can monetize everything you know on the internet, because you're going to have 6 billion people that are willing to buy your things. So you're not going to have a job anymore. You're not going to be a lawyer or an accountant. You're going to have a skill sets. Then you can send by thousand. I mean, if you're a very good philanthropist, your knowledge will be required by 6 billion people, and they are willing to pay you with tokens and cryptocurrency a fee for that knowledge. So we will be less dependent of a job. The concept of a job is going to be molecularized, and this is the new opportunity. Now, one thing, and this is again why I stay in Geneva. I was invited so many times to live to Silicon Valley, and I say, no, let's stay here, guys. It's going to pay off one day. Is because we are in a city that is molecularizing its trust model. So Switzerland, and Geneva in particular, is going to become the trust hub of the world. And it's no doubt about it. And that is going to open 1,000 possibilities of creating companies.
What are the key factors to transform our relationships to technology? Because we've heard today that technology is completely disrupting the way we function as human beings.
But technology, I mean, you know, as I say, there are two different types of humans, those that they glorify technologies, and other than they say technology at the end of the day is a tool. You know, when we were monkeys, knew how to use the stick just to get the bee honey from the top of the tree. I mean, we have been using tools all our history since we were monkeys, right? So technology is a tool. It's another one. It's very sophisticated. It can provide us a lot of satisfaction, but it's a tool. It's like playing piano. You can be the most sophisticated pianist of the world. If you don't have the instrument in front of you, nobody will know how you're going to play piano. So you need a tool to deploy and unleash your potential. I believe human potential has not been unleashed yet, has not been developed yet. Maybe we have developed 25% of our potential, so we have 75 more to develop, so amazing things are going to happen, humans. And we're going to use computers and artificial intelligence and a blockchain and IoT as we use tools. As Picasso used the brush to paint. I mean, it was not the brush painting, it was Picasso, right? So that concept of using technology as a tool needs to be put in the mind of everybody, which is not always the case, because companies, and they're already $1 trillion, this company don't have a very good objectives. What they want actually is that take away that function of human from the human person and bring into the platform so they can continue monetizing that platform. So they are creating, people sometimes say, what this company really want to do in the future? If you ask at the CEO level of this company, you know what they say? We want to be countries. We want to be as big as, if one company has 1 billion users, their views is 1 billion citizens. Then they go every day to that country, that digital country that will emerge in the future. So multinational corporations, and they are data mining or data, destiny is to compete against governments. They want to become themselves a government, and they want to impose their own legislation. We have to stop that. And the only way to stop that is to give back again the power to the person. At any moment, at any time, a person can say no. And when 1 billion persons say no, whatever business model you have built collapse. And this is what happened now with the GDPR. This is what happened in the United States government, and they are awakening to the fact that users has been exploited. And this is a movement. And the book just crystallized that movement and puts on action so we can execute on it.
And we shall not forget the power of the shareholders.
Yes.
And they could try to withdraw, or they could decide to withdraw their investments.
But again, yes, but shareholders in our days, actually, that's interesting evolution as well. 20 years ago, shareholders only want to make money. Now shareholders are, I mean, the company of the future, successful of the future, is not going to be for how many profit you are returning or what is the dividends you're going to return to your shareholders. Are companies then they can do that because that is important, because it's a good thing to do. But in plus, you can prove that you are solving a complex problem. I know a lot of young billionaires now. Actually, Davos is going to be full of them coming to our event, and they are telling me, if my money goes to your company, I want you to prove me that this money is helping on doing something for good. That could be environmental protection with the new revolution, environmental technology. That could be protecting your data. So I think smart money is going in that direction. Obviously, there's other money, but you don't need to go there. Mm-hmm. You have to choose. You know, money follows ideas, not the other way around. Money follows ideas. So if you have a good idea, all the money of the world is available for you.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you very much.
We finish on this positive note.
Thank you.
And all the best. Thank you.